Hello, everybody. Are we on?
Yeah.
Is that right? All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Codex Legendarium. I am your Dungeon Master, Sam, and today we should be getting to the trial of Sullivan Orncroft versus Dieter von Stark. Before we get started, any announcements to speak of?
Nope.
All right. Come see us on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Not started up yet. We're
Nope.
still waiting on Thursday.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, last we left off was preparations. First of all, it was just a recap. Last episode was just a great recap. So if you wanted just a recap of what's been happening recently, just go watch the last episode. It's a great catch-up point. Um, we then moved into preparations for the trial, where the reason for the recap, first of all, was because Viktoria returned. Viktoria is back. For how long, who knows? But Viktoria returned, got the down low on what's been happening, and then everyone started preparing for Montblanc's trial, where they spoke to Montblanc's mom, who is going to be representing Montblanc in the trial. Which I don't know if anyone's actually told Montblanc that yet.
I think I got a letter.
You got a letter, but I don't think that was mentioned in the letter that I sent that Princess sent you.
Interesting.
So I think Montblanc may be surprised. I think it may be a fun surprise for Montblanc when his mom walks into the courtroom on the day of his trial and is just like, "I'm here to represent my client." So that'll be fun.
Oh,
Good to know I caught. Good to know I caught that. That'll be a fun moment.
nice.
So yeah, basically y'all went over the evidence that you stole from Lord Mumbleton's estate. Which basically Montblanc's mom was just like, yeah, he's gonna need to admit that he stole this information, but then like they will just weigh that in the balance of crimes pretty much, and like probably like basically what she said was like, if this goes well, if this goes the way we want it to, then that will just kind of come out in the wash of all the crimes that Dieter has committed. But like, and like, if it's at the point where they care about this crime, we're screwed anyway. So like, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, and everyone kind of hung out and prepared for the trial. Everyone had some downtime for a few days where they just kind of hung out and prepared. So as we begin, I think we're gonna jump into just talking about Montblanc's couple days, or should I? So actually, I suppose this is a good time to ask: are we still going with Montblanc, or are we switching to Sullivan? Which name are we going with?
Depends how the trial goes.
That's fair. All right. Nope. Montblanc Montalban. That's me. Sullivan Horncroft. Never heard of him. All right. So, Montblanc for now. It's a couple of days of sitting in the naval fort. I'll just kind of summarize where things were for you. You arrived on your ship with your party, and turned yourself in. Basically said like, "Hi, I'm Sullivan Orncroft, and I would like to go to trial against Dieter von Stark because he framed me." And they were like, "Yeah, all right, that might as well happen because everything else is. So come with us." So you relinquished the anchor, which one of the guards just like took and nearly dropped because it's so heavy. And you were particularly welcomed by the if my stuff will load. Woo. There we go. You were welcomed by Captain Theodore Eastburn of the Violet, along with Captain Phoenix Rainway of the Ranunculus. Captain Phoenix Rainway is the oldest captain and kind of the de facto leader of the Navy now that Dieter is MIA. So, because again, the current story is that Dieter is just missing, not dead. So they welcomed you in. Captain Eastburn is very receptive to Monty, is very on his side, it seems like. Just because he, like, Monty helped him out. They kind of like formed a bit of a friendship with the party, so he's just like willing to listen. Captain Rainway is much more by the book, but like having Captain Eastburn on your side has been helping. So they brought Monty into the fort, which is the fort that Montblanc would be very familiar with from his time in the Navy. It is the main naval fort. It's on an island just inside basically the main bay of Titan's Grave City. If you remember the map, the landmass kind of creates like a natural bay, and then there's this very long, thin island that's kind of where like the foreign trade happens, and then all of that kind of creates a natural mouth opening where this Fort Keystone is right in the middle of, and that is where Montblanc is. So they would, let Montblanc in, bring him inside, and then eventually bring him up to a basically a guest room. It's nice. It has a bed. It has a wash basin. It has a tub. It has like a desk to write on, and it's like probably third floor. So it has a nice view of. This one would have a view of the ocean. So this side of the fort would be facing out towards the ocean. So it'd be just like kind of like waves and occasional ships going by. And it's a nice room. It's not like it is like a guest room. So it is well maintained, well put together, nice bed, nice sheets and blankets. There's a rug on the floor. There's candles. So it's not a prison cell, but they will tell Montblanc that given the nature of his stay, that they ask that he stay in the room, and that he not go anywhere without escort, and there will be guards posted outside the door.
All right.
So, you turned yourself like Sullivan Arncroft is wanted for a mutiny. You said you're here to clear your name, and they're willing to listen to that. But in the meantime, they do have to still treat you like, the wanted mutineer that they,
of course,
you were thought of for years.
Of course.
So
I burned the place down. No.
Well, it's stone and surrounded by water.
Stone melts.
Eventually. All right.
I just have like a lighter up to one of the bricks. It's gonna happen eventually.
Any day now. Where did you get a lighter?
I made it.
It really does mess me up, the fact that lighters have existed longer than matches.
Yeah.
Right. They're easier to make. It's just oil and a wick. Anyway, so yeah, basically Montblanc has a couple of days just kind of like hanging out in this room.
Lots of push-ups.
Yes, just doing prison push-ups.
Got to maintain that 20 strength.
Oh yeah. Just like lifting. There's like, wait a minute, where is they like peek in the window and they don't see him. They're like, where is he? Did he escape? And then they just notice the bed is just like lifting off the ground. He's just underneath it, bench pressing it.
Of course, bench pressing the bed.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I see. All right, that's weird, but he's still in there. Cool. But yeah. Just to kind of go through some of the people that Montblanc would see. At one point, he would see his first meal actually would be delivered by Bobby Reed, the crew member on the Orchid, who she would inform Montblanc that the entire crew of the Orchid has been called back and assigned to staff the fort for the moment. Which basically she's kind of heard enough rumors to say that like and you can kind of figure out too, if Dieter is being investigated, then his crew is also under investigation. So to keep them close but not like necessarily tip them off, they've just called them all back to the fort and have them all like working. They're not, they can move around freely, but they're also on assignment, so they can't like leave the fort without being questioned. So they're on like subtle house arrest, doing work. And like Bobby's fine with this. Bobby was just like, hey, I'm happy to be doing work again. I was just kind of like, I got assigned and then started sitting on my ass for this whole courtship thing. So it feels nice to actually be doing Navy stuff again.
Nice.
But yeah, and then probably a couple of days in, would be when because this information about him has not been made public, he can move around freely. There would be a knock at Montblanc's door at one point.
Answer it.
And right, you go up and answer the door. Creaks open, and standing outside Montblanc's guest room
Lord
door.
Mumbleton.
Yes, it is.
Oh wow. Yep. Well, this sucks. Hey.
Hello. Mr. Orncroft, is it? Yes?
Yep.
May I come in?
No.
Hmm. Well, I suppose we'll speak here in the doorway.
No. Close the door.
He's just shut the door in his face.
Yeah. Fuck that
All
guy.
right. You just hear grumbling from outside, and then he just like leans in so he can just like whisper through the crack in the door. Like you can hear like he looks around because like he wanted to do this privately, but if you shut the door, he can't just like shout it through the door. It's like it's like a loud stage whisper through the door so that like
Nice.
no one can, but you can hear him. He's just like, I don't know what you think you've won, but if you think that this will slow down the plans of Malakost at all, you are a fool. Diadema will fall, you will die, and this world will belong to him.
Open the door.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what was that? I didn't get that.
He narrows his eyes and like looks back and forth down the hallway. You heard me.
You're gonna have to speak louder. I couldn't hear you.
I'll speak plenty loudly at your execution after this farce of a trial is over. Good day. And he just
Bye.
turns around and starts storming off. Yeah, you can tell he was planning on just like coming into your room and taunting you and like giving the whole villain speech.
Good.
But like the power play of shutting the door and then like being like speak up about that. He's just like, well, now I'm suspicious and I'm very worried. So I'm just gonna go. So he just like showed up, talked to you for 30 seconds, and then like has to get back on a boat and go home.
As he's walking away, I'll just like poke my head out the door. Bye. And then close the door. And go back to push-ups.
Yeah. You will notice actually as you poke your head out the door that your door guards were conspicuously absent during that meeting.
Oh, interesting.
And then they like come back around. They come back around the corner like as he's leaving, or it's a little bit after he leaves. Like he budgeted more time, but basically looks like he stalled like the changing of the guard so that he could get a private conversation with you. And so they look, there's like, why is no one here? That's weird. Okay, he's still in there doing push-ups, so we're fine. This isn't a big deal. But yeah. So, is there anything Montblanc would like to do? Anybody would like to talk to? Any meetings he would like to arrange prior to his trial?
Nope.
All right. Then, for the other two of you, is there anything that you wanted to cover, or anything prior to Montblanc's trial before you arrive?
I want to talk to his mom if she comes around again.
She'd be so you go find her as she's like speaking to Lady Stanway.
I'm gonna finish the stitch. Okay. And just like knock on the door frame. And just be like,
oh, hello.
Hi, hello, Lady Stanway and Lady Orncroft, yes?
It's actually I want to make sure I'm pronouncing this right. It's Alusha Shore, is that it?
Huh?
It's your mom's last name. Am I pronouncing that right?
How do I say your mom's name?
What? Hold on. I'm confused.
Yeah, you gave your mom a different last name that's not Orncroft. Or oh wait, did she take your dad's name when they got married?
Fuck, I don't know.
Okay, because you have her family name is like Alusha Shore.
Where the fuck is that?
It's the name of the house that you stay in. It's named after her family.
That does not ring any bells to me.
Well,
hold on, give me a sec.
All right.
Okay. Let's see here. All right. Calm down, everybody. All
We're
right.
learning the marital customs of Titans.
I am. I'm also looking through my backstory real quick.
Second paragraph of your backstory. First sentence. Mother was a half elf.
Oh, yeah. Forgot what
his mom's a half elf. I thought she was a full elf.
Apparently not.
We can say she's a full elf, though. We've been going with that this whole time.
Okay. Yeah, Alusha Shore.
Okay. Does she? Was that her maiden name, or did she take your dad's name?
Well, in Titan's Grave, when you marry, you take the wife's last name.
Oh, okay, that's right. Oh, especially because she's the noble. That's right.
You take the noble's last name, yeah.
Yes.
So then where the fuck did Orncroft go?
Well, that's his dad, Montblanc's dad's name.
So then why wouldn't he, as the
It's
child,
fluid.
take?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's fluid.
okay.
It's yeah,
There's no power dynamics here.
yeah.
It's equal.
There's
Mhm.
power dynamics in Aor.
Oh yeah.
Clearly.
But yes, but that's also never come up before. So yes, you can call her like Lady Orncroft, and
Yeah,
she'll
that's
tell you. Orncroft was my husband's last family name. Mine is Lucia Shore. But how can I help you?
I was actually wondering if I could have a slight meeting with you, Your Grace.
Yes, well, your grace is a bit grandiose for my position. Technically, I am not nobility currently. But yes, how can I help you?
Rubbish, rubbish. Lady Stanway, could you give us a moment?
Yes, I would be happy to. I have a few things I need to take care of myself around the house, so I'll leave you two to it. And she makes her way off.
Thank you. And then wait till she leaves and like closes the door. And then Victoria's like, I don't believe we've actually been fully introduced.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think you were away when I had the
Yeah.
occasion to visit.
Yes, yes, yes. I've been kind of busy elsewhere. However, allow me to introduce myself as the Lady Victoria of the House of the Five-Star Chalice
Oh,
over in
very nice.
Aor.
Yes, very nice to meet you. I am I'm somewhat familiar with the province of the Five-Star Chalice.
Really?
Yes,
You know my uncle?
are you related to the Lord of the Five-Star Chalice, Lord
Lord
Liam?
Liam?
If I'm not
Yes,
mistaken?
yes.
Oh yes,
That is my uncle.
Yes, I've heard of him.
Uh, anyways, as you are the one representing your dear son here, I offer to you, if you feel it would help, a character witness for him. Now, I do not know how much weight a foreign noble house has here in your courts, but if you feel that it would help, I give it to you, as your son has aided interests of my house and by extension Aor. So I
You know,
would consider him an ally of Aor.
that would actually be quite helpful. The Yes, I believe that would actually be quite helpful. Um, it certainly couldn't hurt after all. So yeah, you can see the wheels turning as she thinks about this and how to like weave it into her argument. But just yes, I think that would be quite beneficial. So yes, if you could speak on his behalf, I will call for you, and I assume you're going to be attending.
Yes, I truly would not miss a court event for any reason.
Well, it's not a noble court event, but that is to our benefit in this occasion. He is being tried in naval court.
Oh, naval court. Do we have naval court in my area of
I
Aor?
don't think so, no, because the if you do, you're not really sure. Basically, oh well, you would kind of have something. Basically, this is a military trial, not a like a civic trial. Like this is being handled internally within the military because that's what Montblanc revealing himself as Sullivan Orncroft kind of got him is like, oh wait, Sullivan was in the Navy, Dieter was in the Navy. This is actually a naval
Navy
concern,
issue.
so we can completely remove this from the nobility, which means because he's technically basically, if this was a noble issue, Lord Mumbleton would be able to talk. But because this is 100% naval, he would have to admit that he's involved in order to be able to like give any sort of help to Dieter.
Okay.
So he's just kind of like they just pulled it out of his jurisdiction.
Cool, cool. So what's like the dress code? She will ask for like 100% ask his mom, Monty's mom, just be like, what is dress code for this?
Oh well, I would say formal is appropriate. I'm dressed to impress. Nobility will be in attendance, and many of the naval captains are have been if they were not nobility already, have been elevated to nobility themselves. So, uh, it will certainly have the appearance of a noble affair.
Okay, all right. So court dress, yes. All right,
Yes. Oh,
got
yes.
it. I will go get that ready.
All right.
Um, but yes, I will await for you to call. Thank you.
Wow.
Curtsy awkwardly, and leave the room.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, while
Yes.
I'm alone,
Mm-hmm.
do they at least give me like a fucking wash basin?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a wash. There's a wash basin. There's a whole bathtub that they can like you can request to have filled. Like you can take
Okay.
baths and stuff. It's like again, it's you're being treated like a guest. You just can't leave.
Great. I'm gonna talk to the wash basin.
Mm-hmm.
Father.
Hello, son.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
What the fuck?
Yeah, you can see the water swims and you can see your father's face appear in the surface of the water.
So, would it be a bad idea to call upon you in my trial?
I think so.
Oh, look, I can talk to puddles, and the puddles speak to me.
Yes, I don't know that. I think that perhaps the amount of time it would take to determine the validity of the testimony of a speaking bowl of water would take far longer than the benefit would provide.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
All right.
I will be watching over you, and I will be with you.
Good to know. And that's it.
Okay. All right. Then Tedros, anything prior to the trial, or are you good?
Tedros is mostly good. He will take some time, just to kind of meditate on how best he might be able to assist. He will definitely be adjusting his spell list accordingly.
Okay.
But other than that,
Oh, that's good.
he's spending some time. What is happening? He's spending some time just kind of thinking about the situation, and wondering what all of this, I guess, means. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of thinking past the trial itself and thinking
Mm-hmm.
more so of like, okay, well, regardless what happens, well, regardless of what happens, Monty's not staying in jail.
Mm-hmm.
That's his opinion, but beyond that, it's like, okay, well, what do we do next? Like, what do we have to keep an
Mm-hmm.
eye out for, and things like that.
Okay.
So,
All right. Then, unless there's anything else, I believe we will be arriving at the day of the trial. So, the trial is actually going to be held on Fort Keystone
Hell
itself.
yeah, let's go.
It will be because it is it's a naval trial, and this is the naval fort in Titan's Grave. So this is where it's going to be held. Let me make sure I got the right. Pretty sure that's the right fort.
It's not the one where we have like a strip club and.
Oh yeah. Yes, Fort
What?
Keystone is the one with the bay. Yes, yes, yes. I got that right.
Monty's gonna cast disguise self and look like a. No, 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 no. We're good.
All right. Yes, Fort Keystone is the. Yeah, it's also where like half the Navy can be dry docked at once.
Nice.
So, the day arrives, and Montblanc, as you kind of like wait for the trial and stand in your room, you can see just over the course of the morning a variety of ships start to basically having to circle the island. You can tell like they come into your point of view because you're facing away from Titan's Grave, but multiple of them come into your point of view, circling around. Like, you spent enough time in the Navy to know that like this is like harbor like dock traffic being managed, basically, that like enough boats are trying to come to this trial and people are trying to come over from Titan's Grave to watch, that like they're having to like redirect boats and have them like circle the island for a bit so before they can find a parking spot.
Okay. Cool.
So you can just tell from looking at the window, like this is going to be a spectacle. People are invested in this, because I mean you've got the returning prodigal son of Titan's Grave, Sullivan Orncroft, and then the scandal that what he did was not the accusations against him are not true, and also just the fact that Dieter von Stark, the hero of that event, has actually fled and had accusations levied against him, is a very, well, as far as they know,
Which
is
will
a very,
stay that way.
oh yeah, so yeah, definitely people are interested. So you are basically just kind of waiting. Back at Lady Stanway's estate, you're all getting ready to go head over. So is there anything so Victoria, at the very least, you mentioned court dress. So what is the vibe here?
So the vibe is unlike anything Victoria has worn before.
Ooh, nice.
Whereas like, normally Victoria is flowy, loose, kind of just let the fabric flow as it will.
Ooh.
This dress is very structured and kind of going against how the fabric would lay. I actually have references. Let me find them. But for audience that's not in Discord chat, like the silhouette is Princess Eugenie wedding dress, but like deep emerald.
Ooh, okay.
Princess Eugenie. Yes, I know it's my most recent search. Okay, fuck. But also like not with the huge ass train.
Okay.
But like, okay, so this one, copy. Guys, I have not been on my laptop like in 3 months. I don't know how to work. Paste. So that's the back, and then where the fuck is the front? There it is. Copy, and then the front. So like that's her style.
Right. Okay.
And then hair is down, but there's like kind of some braiding around the top with like a braid hanging down, and then tied to the bottom of that braid is the feather that Tedros gave her.
Aww.
And then she has shortened the chain for her key or her coin, so that it kind of sits right here rather than lower down. Okay.
Right.
That is.
And anything special for Tedros?
No. I think the other, I don't remember if I specified, but I think the other outfit that wasn't worn was supposed to be a bit more traditional, and is not what he got beat up in last. So he put that on instead. Probably a pretty standard like blazer, like jacket, slacks. Probably if there's a vest, he wouldn't wear the vest, but pretty standard jacket.
Okay.
Just wear the vest.
Only, nothing else. No pants.
Also
Pooh Bear
worth
in it
pointing
with
out,
Yeah, Pooh Bear and
Bear. Victoria is wearing the sleeves for the first time in her life. She's wearing sleeves.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Monty's wearing banana hammock and a bow tie.
Oh my god.
Does he have the cuffs too? Like the
Of
little
course.
cuffs and the
Of
collars,
course.
full Chippendales.
Of course.
He's gonna dance for his freedom.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
I could cast Disguise Self and look like anybody.
That's true.
I shudder to think what you would do with such power.
Oh, if I had the ability to do that, it would be bad.
When Tedros sees Victoria, he gives a little nod and a bow and says, "You look ready for court."
Yes, I have been waiting for an occasion to wear such a dress.
If Monty doesn't appreciate it, I think the rest of us certainly will.
I mean, I hope Monty appreciates it. This fucking thing sucks.
Well, wouldn't be able to tell just by looking at you.
Every time you bend your arms, the sleeves threaten to rip.
Every time it's like, ah. Like, why do people do this on a regular basis?
Good question.
Okay.
Money. And so, yeah, Lady Stanway will be waiting for you all. She's wearing just like a simple, like amber-colored dress with like a feathered collar that kind of comes down to a point, and her usual cane, and like a hat that just kind of like sits pinned into her hair off to the side.
A little fascinator. Okay, I see you. I see you, girl.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, you can step out onto the onto the boat, which again she has like a little U-shaped, almost like she has like a canal that comes onto her property like a driveway, that you can step onto the boat. So it's like perfect. The water level is kept so that like to match her boats, when you step off of the ground onto her boat, it's like perfectly level.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
And yeah, you can actually Montblanc would know that like that is a pretty common practice for Titan's Grave nobility, and is especially common practice for every Titan's Grave noble to keep their that water, like the water level and the step in their boat, different heights, specifically so that like when you're stepping off your own boat into your own home, it is graceful and like perfect. But specifically when somebody else is stepping off their boat into your own home, they have to either step up or step down, and it's like a little bit more awkward, just to like already add like a little bit of discomfort when you're stepping into somebody else's territory.
Fuck yeah.
Subtle mind games. I love these petty bitches.
Welcome to where I'm from.
Yep. But yeah, so you can get onto that boat, you can begin sailing, and you can see Fort Keystone, which you're familiar with. You just dropped, well, Tedros just dropped Montblanc off there. Yulyanya is with you as well. And you can see Fort Keystone, this large gray stone fort set up on a small island. The fort takes up the majority of the island. It's pretty much just like the fort and then just docks bristling off of it in every direction that ships are landing. And you can see just ships on ships on ships, naval ships, commercial ships, just private ships of nobility, like all like shapes and sizes coming in to dock at this fort, so they can come see the trial. And as you make your way over, you can see ships getting like coming up and getting turned away and having to circle around to like find a berth to be dropped off at. But as you all come in and start making your way closer, someone will recognize you and Lady Stanway, and you just get directed immediately into like a front row berth for your ship. And your ship is like, compared to some of the larger naval ships, is a little bit smaller, so you're able to come up into one of the more like pretty much there's a section of it that's almost like a sheltered little cove for smaller ships that allows for a more private entrance up into things. You're not having to take the public entrance, and that's where your ship pulls into because it can fit. And yeah, and as you get off, you can see just people milling about, and just like it's like the front steps of a church before after a wedding. Just people just like milling about, talking to each other. Like this has become a social event out here. And but you can kind of take a side entrance. But as you're arriving, you see a boat right as the wind is kind of picking up and starts to blow in the direction of the fort. You see a boat just pull up. That it conspicuously does not pull into the harbor. Like it doesn't come up like it's trying to park. Like it kind of came in and just kind of started immediately circling, and it pulls up right in front of the section with all the gathered people. And as the wind blows in that direction, people on the boat pull out baskets and just start tossing these what looks like pieces of paper up into the air by the handful so they catch on the wind, and there's this plume of like this cloud of paper that flutters in over that side of the island and just
Lord High Bellow.
And just floats over everything and just like covers everybody in just this cloud of papers. And you can catch one. They like you're further away, so like as you go to reach for one, there's like less of them, but like a few of them have made their way over to you. So if you'd like to try and grab one, you certainly can.
Yeah.
All right. As you do, you can indeed recognize another pamphlet of Lord Highbellows. And specifically, it's been a while. There hasn't been one since you guys all arrived because all the events happened so rapidly that you just haven't seen anything since. If more events had been attended, there would have been more Lord Highbellow pamphlets. But we kind of jumped right to killing Dieter, so which I'm not complaining about. But this one says, "Dear readers, I come to you this day to speak on something I don't normally speak of. Justice. From my own that Dieter von Stark is indeed..." Am I frozen? I feel like I'm frozen.
For a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Where'd you lose me?
At the beginning.
Okay.
The very beginning.
I'll start over. Dear readers, I come to you this day to speak on something I don't normally speak of. Justice. From my own eyes and whispers, I can tell you on personal authority that Dieter von Stark is indeed the villain that he is accused of being. He is a vile man who conspires with darkness, and I would encourage you to see past the golden veneer of lies that covers the rot and corruption beneath. For those of you attending the trial today, and especially those of you rendering judgment, I encourage you to see reason and listen to what these witnesses have to say, especially the words of Lord, underlined, Sullivan Orncroft, a man whose title was wrongfully taken and who deserves to have it restored. And with no follow-up, no goodbye, just signed Lord Highbellows.
I have a question.
Yes.
Tedros leans over to Lady Stanway and asks, I'm curious, how long has Lord Highbellows been producing these pamphlets?
Oh, on and off for a few years now.
And are there any suspicions as to who it might be?
Oh, certainly. There is the talk of the nobility is certainly always trying to figure out who Lord Highbellows is, but
It's me.
no one has ever been able to find out who.
Is it you?
No, I don't have the time or the energy.
That sounds like someone who is Lord Highbellow would say.
If I was, I would
Fair
tell
enough.
you.
Tedros leans over and whispers to Viktoria and says, I think it might be Monty's mom.
What a good thought, yes.
And that's it. He
Okay.
leaves that alone and just carries on.
Makes mental note to ask Monty's mom.
All right. Okay. So, you are all brought inside, and you are brought up to. It is a very large, ornate room. At like the top of the fort. Not like the top of a tower. It's just like up. It's like up at the like wall height. There is like a couple of towers elsewhere, but it's just kind of the wall height of the fort. You're brought into a room with it has almost like bleacher seating or wooden bleacher seating around the outside, and then like wooden chairs and desks, like courtroom setup, with a long table with enough chairs for all of the captains of the Navy, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 chairs, but one of them, the one that is kind of like in the middle, has been tipped forward so that it's like leaning on the table, kind of like facing downward, indicating that no one will be sitting there. Because,
He's dead.
they don't know that. But he's not here. So yeah, you're brought in there, and there's like basically, it's courtroom setup. There's like the defense table and everything. And you're all kind of brought in ahead of time to walk in. Basically, it's a wide set. Basically, you enter. If you imagine like a typical courtroom, where like you're kind of facing the bench, so to speak, which is where the 10 chairs are, kind of like in a slightly elevated platform. The stairs that come up are from the right, and it's like a full wide staircase. It's like the full length of the room basically comes up into this room, with like a vaulted ceiling and windows that look in and let the sunlight stream in from that direction. And then off to the other three sides of the room, this is on the edge of the fort. So this side looks out over the ocean, specifically looks out in the direction of Titan's Grave. So you can see like the bay and the city laid out in front of you. The floor is like that kind of like mosaic tile kind of thing, but like not the one that's like separated, the kind where it's like perfectly fit together. So it's just like in the shape of a big multicolor compass rose in the center of the room, and then just like with the designs and things kind of spiraling off from there. Big vaulted ceiling, lots of windows, very open, sunlight streaming in. Just a very, very probably the fanciest room in the fort, but it is because it is for important matters such as these. And you all make your way in, and then Monty, Captain Eastburn himself, will arrive at your door. There's a knock at the door.
All right, I'll open it.
And you see Captain Eastburn there with your two door guards standing flanking him on either side. And he says, "It's time."
All right, lead the way.
All right. I hope this goes well for you.
I do too.
I'll be listening. I will be listening to the evidence. I will be listening to the evidence presented. I will be giving a full, impartial judgment, but I will tell you candidly now that I am rooting for you.
That's good to know. Thank you.
All right, let's get this over with.
Please.
And he gives you like a little hand on the shoulder, nice shoulder grip.
Eldritch Blast.
Boom! Don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
Before he turns, and they all lead you through the hallways, and you come up those stairs as well, and you can see that the captains are starting to gather, and you can see Lady Stanway, Tedros, Viktoria, and you all sitting at the table where you're going to be.
Do like a double take because Victoria's there. Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't.
You can go over.
I don't wave because I want to be formal.
Yep. You can go over. That is the table you'll be at. But so you can make your way over. People haven't shown up yet. You have a few minutes before like the audience is let in.
Just stand there.
Mm-hmm.
How does he look?
Hot. I don't know. Sweaty.
I'm gonna kind of just subtly cast message at him.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, dude, you look like shit.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I will say they would have provided him with alternate clothing if he had wanted. They would have if he had wanted, they could have provided him with a fresh naval uniform.
He'd be wearing the fresh naval uniform then.
Okay, yeah, because like they basically, given that this is a naval trial, they do have to kind of like accept your naval status, so you are allowed to wear the uniform.
So I have my officer's coat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you were
I was like the lowest form of officer.
Yes, you were like the bosun or something.
Right? Fuck, what was it? I have it here too. There's an I did so much like dumb naval research.
That's all good. I appreciated it. But yes, that's right. Monty was an officer, so Monty has an officer's uniform on. There was a bathtub; he could have bathed and everything. But yeah, but like probably still like sweating from the stress. All right. So you can all make your way. Like Monty can you make your way over to like the table where they're standing. So like you all can have a minute just like with each other. Okay, that was it.
That's what I am. So yeah, we're in that.
Okay. Oh hey. Just in time. We have an arrival.
Oh. All right. Give me a sec to rearrange everything.
All right.
Okay. Who is who? That's the real question.
Who are you? Who?
What a great show.
What show?
Oh, CSI.
Oh, that's right. That's the same song. I just love the Who.
Not a good show. All right. Get out of here with these cop shows. All right. Where is everyone? No, there's 2 Sams. We're good.
Hello.
Oh no, we're not. I need to be on here somewhere.
Yeah, you do. We're at your trial.
Here, I'll just be Sam for the time being.
Oh no, you've taken the DM chair.
That's not a good thing. All right, we should be good now. Everything should be organized now. My painkillers
Hello.
are kicking in. This is really difficult to rearrange these windows right now.
Oh boy. Luckily, you don't need to speak too much at your own trial.
There's like, anyways.
All right. So we are at the trial. The room is big, open, wide room with a mosaic of a compass rose on the floor. Windows out facing towards Titan's Grave, big vaulted ceiling, and a wall-length staircase that leads up into the room at the top of the Fort Keystone, with all of you standing in there. We went over outfits. Does Yule wear anything in particular to the trial?
Yes.
Okay.
So, among the things that Yule got, was a dress that is it's white and it's in more of a Titan's Grave fashion, and it has I want to say I need to go back and hear how I had it described, but I believe that it has a sun on a cape.
That sounds right.
So she's wearing that.
Okay. Nice. Okay. So yeah, you're all in the room. You're all in the courtroom. It's pre-trial. The captains are filing in to take their bench seats basically, and then you all are there. So it's the 4 of you plus Lady Stanway so far in the room. Montblanc has been let in and is being brought to his defense table. Montblanc is wearing a fresh new officer's uniform because given this is a naval trial, he needs to be able to be represented as a part of the Navy while they do their judgment.
So unlike the naval coat he wears, this one doesn't have anything on the shoulders. It's completely bare.
That's right, because it's the captain's coat that he's normally wearing.
He keeps the captain's coat on him, yeah.
Yep. All right. So if there's anything any of you would like to say to each other pre-trial, now's the time. Otherwise, we will jump in.
I can't.
Harry?
I think there's something that Tedros would say to I'm blanking on words. To the defense, to his mom.
She's not here yet.
Okay. Then he will essentially be ready in action for when she comes in, and he'll be trying to position himself where he could give her a quick pat on the shoulder or something.
Okay.
Are we able to approach Monty?
Yeah, I mean, when I say Monty's with all of you. He's right next to you.
I didn't know if he was being protected by guards or couldn't do anything.
The guard. So he was led in by guards. With him, Captain Eastburn escorted him in with 2 guards, but the guards have posted up against the far wall, and no one is immediately next to Montblanc right now.
Okay, well, if possible, then you would go up and just reach her little hands up to grab Monty's hands.
Okay.
And she would just say, "This is what we've been waiting for."
I know, yes. I'm very nervous.
It's scary, it is, but it's all going to be okay.
If not, it's been nice knowing all of you.
Monty, don't talk like that. Your mom is coming. She's going to help you.
Wait.
Guys.
What do you mean she's coming?
You've got the finest defense in the land, from what I hear.
Everything's going to be okay then.
Suddenly, all stress just vanishes.
He lets out a little quiet one. Just, hold holding that in.
Remember, Princess, this is what she did to us, or did for us.
He wasn't there for that. That happened after he was
Yeah,
already on
he
house
wasn't.
arrest.
Oh.
And he has, you don't know, no one has actually told
yeah.
him that, because
Yeah.
that letter came to you.
Okay, sorry. She wouldn't have said that then. She would have said, this was Princess's doing.
It didn't mention anything in the letter they sent me. Interesting.
Well, we are all under the protection of Velia now.
Interesting. Anything else I should know before this begins?
I don't think so.
Don't know how Viktoria got here. We'll discuss that later if I get out.
Surprise, I'm speaking on your
When?
behalf.
Oh, great.
Portal. She came from a portal just like she left.
When you get out.
If, but yes.
Oh, I thought you were saying when she came back.
Who cares? That's a joke. I'm trying to not be so nervous.
It's going to be okay, Monty.
If not,
We're not going to let anything happen to you.
If not, I'll jump out a window and swim away. They can't. As deep as I can go.
Listen, I think we could take like everybody here if we put our minds to it. So like if it doesn't go our way, like
I don't want
they
to
can't
do that.
pass judgment if there's no one alive to pass judgment.
Okay, alright.
If it came down to
I
that,
don't.
then...
It's not going to come down to that. If I'm found guilty, I'm going to lean in real close. I'm going to run away as far as I can.
Do you think they're going to find you guilty?
Fuck no. Mumblebutts came to my room and tried talking to me in private, and I rebuked him. So,
Good.
fuck that asshole. Regardless,
Yeah, fuck that asshole.
Oh.
Who is he?
I'm sure you'll find out.
Lord Mumblebutt is,
He's
guilty.
not the good one, right? He's the bad one that
He's a bad
we
one.
stole from.
Anyways,
Yeah, okay, so
it was
Tedros
nice.
would have made sure to let Viktoria know, hey, let's not talk about that. Let's not,
Right.
please.
I'm so sorry.
It was wonderful speaking with you all. But I have to collect my thoughts now, I think, and prepare myself and prepare my backup plan just in case.
All right. I will read off the Lord High Bellows pamphlet again, since not everyone was here to hear it. So I'll repeat it again. As everyone was arriving, in the most dramatic sense, everyone was arriving. People are still like milling around on the stairs that lead up to the fort, kind of like the shore and just like the set of stone stairs. A boat passed by, like close by the shore, not looking to park and like dock. And as the wind blew, like once the wind turned and blew in the direction of the fort, the people on it just like sprung up and like pulled up baskets full of pamphlets and just started tossing them into the air. So they just like billowed over to the like milling nobles and just like covered them in just a cloud of pamphlets. That then like some of them drifted over to where you were all entering in, because you came in through a side entrance, like a private side entrance, like a little sheltered dock and like a little cove. But it says again, "Dear readers, I come to you this day to speak on something I don't normally speak of. Justice. From my own eyes and whispers, I can tell you on personal authority that Dieter von Stark is indeed the villain that he is accused of being. He is a vile man who conspires with darkness, and I would encourage you to see past the golden veneer of lies that covers the rot and corruption beneath. For those of you attending the trial today, and especially those of you rendering judgment, I encourage you to see reason and listen to what these witnesses have to say, especially the words of Lord, underlined, Sullivan Orncroft, a man whose title was wrongfully taken and who deserves to have it restored. Lord Highbellows. No, like goodbye, no signing off, just a dash Lord Highbellows. Same handwriting and everything.
And as a note, since she would have also been there, Tedros would have also given Yule his suspicion that Lord Highbellows is a pen name for Monty's mother. That's his suspicion, anyway.
And yeah, at that point, also looking up, you can see that a good couple of the captains do have, among their various papers and things up there at the table, a couple of them do in fact have the pamphlet in front of them. But yeah, and at that point, people start making their way in, walking up the stairs, filing their way in, making their way in, filling the audience seats, like the kind of the bleachers, as well as the chairs and everything in the auditorium. And the trial gets ready to begin. And as everyone files in, the captains call everyone to order, and they all stand up, and everyone else in the room stands up together. And as they do, Lord Rainway stands up, turns and says, "All right, order, everyone, order. We're going to begin this trial. Sullivan Orncroft versus the absentee Dieter von Stark, or something already not exactly in his pointing in his favor. Mr. Orncroft, is your representation present?"
Yes, momentarily should be, I believe.
And as if on cue, you hear the doors at the bottom of the stairs. And then just the way the sun is coming through and kind of like bouncing off the light stone of the stairs. When a bunch of people come through, it kind of casts like a bunch of shadows and things in the walls and the ceiling and stuff just from like the angle of the sun coming in. But when a single person comes in and walks up those stairs, it casts a single silhouette up on the opposite wall. And you can see this single silhouette appear up against the wall. As the person casting it makes their way up, you can see the silhouette of a person wearing a just wide, like ball gown sized dress, makes her way up the stairs, and just gradually you see Montblanc's mom just come into view, just head down as she makes her way up the stairs, wearing a massive, very large, very ornate ball gown, with a like fur collar that kind of like goes up almost in the sort of reminiscent of almost like a lion's mane, coming up behind the back of her head, like kind of comes down, starts at the shoulders, makes its way down, very wide at the bottom, and just in absolute solid obsidian black as she makes her way up the stairs, walks over to the assorted captains, and then lays out the letter that Princess sent and said, "Hello, I have come to represent my son in this matter, and I believe you'll see from this letter that everything is in order, and I am here not as a member of Titan's Grave, but as a representative of a foreign body who has interest in this regard." And then the captains pass it back and forth, but it seems like they were already notified of this ahead of time. And then they nod, and Captain Rainway says, "Understood. You may join your son, and we will begin the trial then." And she nods confidently and then makes her way over to where there is already a chair waiting for her. And then the captains sit down, and everyone else can begin to sit. She stays standing, though, ready to run this room. So, the captain... there's a pause after the captains sit down where, like, they're getting settled, they're getting ready to move into the proceedings and the procedure, and there is a procedure to it. And Montblanc's mom jumps on that silence first.
Real quick, when she gets close enough to do so, Tedros will extend a hand and reach over and put another one on Montblanc's shoulder, and he will say a quick prayer and cast Enhance ability for charisma. So both of them have advantage on their charisma checks.
Okay.
Cool.
Then she will begin. by saying, "Well, if it's all the same to you, if it's all the same to you, captains, I believe we will begin. I believe the she doesn't pause or anything like that. I just make sure I got it. We are set to begin with the testimony from witnesses. Do you have any objection to begin with that now?" And they just like look a little like caught off guard, but like not in a way where like they're upset, but in a way like it's in a way where it's almost like you get caught like not being good at your job, and like you like sit up a little straighter, like the teacher caught you not working on your like what you're supposed to be working on kind of moment. And like all the way up to like 70-year-old Captain Rainway all reacts in this one way as she just like jumps right into the format, and they just kind of awkwardly, yes, that is acceptable, yes. She says, wonderful. Well then, I believe the best place to begin is with recent events. So I have here two witnesses who were present for the last night Lord Von Stark spent in Titan's Grave, who are here to speak as to the events that happened. And she's going to turn to Yule first and say, would you care to tell us about what's occurred?
Yule is very nervously going to stand up, and I mean, is she supposed to go anywhere? Like, is there
there's like kind of
stand?
She just kind of like, there is a moment of doubt as you stand up, but she just like gently puts a hand on your shoulder and like guides you to the right place, like anticipating that like the moment that you would like anticipating the moment that you would feel lost and not know what to do, just immediately begins guiding you to the proper spot and just like provides gentle hand on the shoulder and just leads you where you are and just like gesture points you at the captains and says, whenever you're ready, please tell us what you saw, what happened.
Okay. Dieter von Stark, in the beginning of the night was a very nice man. I met him at the party. He was in the hot tub spring thing area, and from there, when I met him, he asked if I would go off with him to speak more in private, as this was his courtship event. I was really hoping to get some alone time with him just to introduce myself and thank him for inviting us to the event. When I did that, I did not expect for it to work and to get any attention, but he was surprisingly very interested in talking to me. So he took me up to this sort of balcony deck thing, and we had dinner. We spoke for a while, and then his servants brought out food. And that was when the night started getting strange, and he started acting different. I noticed he wasn't eating, and his attentions seemed a little just split. And he kept leaving. His servants or bodyguards would come and whisper in his ear, and he would leave. And when he would come back different. I don't know what trickery he was using, but it seemed very strange. And the last time that he came back was when there was a fire that broke out, and I was very nervous. So I actually fled. I went back with Lady Stanway, and I heard about the fire, and I realized that maybe I could be of some assistance, so I ran back, and that was my mistake. Dieter wound up stark raving mad. He was going on about how I was the one for him, and if I trusted him and if I wanted to be with him, then I needed to go with him now. And he was saying a lot of things that I didn't understand. I didn't catch everything. I'm really sorry. But he dragged me by my hand onto the orchid, and I was letting him know that I couldn't go with him, and that I didn't know what was going on, and I was really scared. And as soon as he turned his back, I jumped off of the ship, and I swam back to where I found a boat, and I got to land, and the nice people in a bar were able to help me. Um, and that's when I found my friends again.
And as you say that, Montblanc's mom has not left your side. Just a comforting hand on your shoulder, and she looks up at the captains with a look of basically like, don't make this poor person repeat anything she just had to say. Like, you heard her.
And if you look at Yule, she's like on the verge of tears. Like, it might look like she's on the verge of tears about what happened, but really she's just like incredibly nervous.
Mm-hmm. And Monty's mom will say, clearly, as you can see from this very difficult testimony, that Lord von Stark was in quite a state on his final night. He was intending on leaving. He fled Titan's grave. We have a witness who can say that, which clearly points towards some degree of guilt. And with Montblanc's mom being there to assist you, Yulyanya, go ahead and make me a persuasion check with advantage. You have Monty's mom is able to provide the help action. I'll also tell you, for you, the DC for this is lower because of your nat 20 on when you passed around the information, because you basically, as you're telling the story, there's a look of like
people are remembering
familiarity, like, oh, I heard about this, like, oh, that was that, like that information spread.
Okay, you said persuasion.
Yep, it is charisma.
And advantage means I roll it twice.
Roll twice, take the better. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're all like taking notes and stuff as you're going through it and like nodding along.
17.
Okay. All right. And then Monty's mom says, "Thank you very much. I understand that must have been difficult. Now, please, you can come back and have a seat. We won't need anything else from you."
Thank you.
And you can tell she's being nice to you, but you can also tell that she is being nice to you loud enough for everyone to hear, in a way to paint the sad picture that you were traumatized by Dieter, and everyone should feel very bad for you and feel very angry at him for making this poor small person feel so upset.
Yule will stand back up and like she's walking like with her eyes sort of low to the ground and just like clasping her hands. Again, in nervousness, but also in like, I'm just so scared. I'm so sad, and I don't know what to do.
All right. And then she's going to say, there was another at the estate that night, which I believe several of you encountered. He delivered a letter to you at the end of the night, or he was there to deliver a letter for you at the end of the night. So, please, would you step up and tell us what you saw that evening as well? And she gestures to Tedros.
And Tedros walks over to the stand and gives a nod when he's ready for whatever the question is going to be.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a stand. It's more just standing in the middle of the room. Like okay. And with the design of the floor, she keeps leading you directly the center of that compass rose in the floor. So it's just like the focal point of the room. She just basically says, "Would you please tell us, recount your explanation of the events that night, what you witnessed and what happened that you were able to see?"
I wish I had written them down. It's been a lot. I spent a lot of time very concerned about my friend and did not find her until you all brought me back. But we had gone with the intention of experiencing the parties as done here in Titan's Grave, and Yule and I were together when Dieter saw her and instantly took a liking to her and called her up to dine with him and converse with him further. I sat down in the crowd with others and could not necessarily see or hear any of the things that she said while she was up there. And then after the fire began, uh, we were separated. I tried to look for her, but was told that there was no need for my assistance. And it was some time before we were back together again. And then during that time, I did assist Dieter in fighting off some sort of monstrosity. I'm not entirely sure who or what it was supposed to be, but it certainly seemed like something out of this world, something I've never seen before. And after that, because of that, and perhaps because Dieter recognized that I was with you, he invited us to stay with him longer. And I thought everything would be okay, and that the danger and the activity for the day was over, and very, very much was I wrong. He began to act erratically in ways that didn't make sense for Dieter. And I did separate from him for a time. And then afterwards, he decided to take Yule with him. A priest is, as you imagine, not usually a match for a trained naval captain. So I did not attempt to put up a fight with him, but he did leave me with a message and proceeded to burn down the mansion. And I had nowhere else to go or nothing else to do, so I did as he asked. And then once you all arrived, for completion's sake, I will say that once you all arrived, I delivered the message he gave me, and I waited patiently until you all were able to escort me back to the city proper. And then once there, I found Yule and we reunited, and have been trying to make sense of all that happened that day since.
And as you say that, yeah, Monty's mom gives you like a comforting pat on the back, and she says, "Guests, guests, not only at Clawborn Manor, but guests of Titan's Grave from far away who were invited in with a promise of kindness, and then fell victim to the delusions and guilt and madness of the evil man, Dieter von Stark, who, as we can clearly see from this description of his behavior that evening, was agitated, guilty, and clearly felt responsible for something." And Tedros, go ahead and make me a persuasion check with advantage, with Monty's mom providing the help action.
All right.
I'll tell you all, Monty's mom, as being a representative in this trial, was never a guarantee. Getting her does provide significant benefit.
I can see that, because instead of a 7, I have a 19.
Okay.
Whew. I'm nervous.
Right. Thank you. You may. That is all we need from you.
Thank you. And he takes his seat again.
Okay. And yeah, she'll. She writes down a note actually and hands it to one of the naval attendants, and then they take it and they go up and like whisper something to the captains and then leave the room. And then she steps up and at this point she says, "Now I would also like to call in and represent the testimony of one Dieter von Stark himself. Obviously he's not here, but I would like to call in to question the testimony that he himself provided to you, Lord Rainway, I understand. It is my understanding that when after the party, when a smaller fire had already broken out at his manor, that he spoke to you about investigating the Navy itself for involvement of Scarlet Skin Carvers hidden within the ranks of the Navy, yes?" And Lord Rainway, feeling weirdly like on the stand himself at the trial he's judging, is like, "Yes, that is correct. We've begun that information, and I cannot speak to any results of it in this public endeavor, but I can say that yes, yeah, he did speak to me about that. I can talk about that. And I don't need you to speak any more about that, but that does seem to point towards a man. We've painted a picture here today, everyone. We have painted a picture of a man who has felt significant guilt, felt trapped, felt the need to flee, and has also, out of nowhere, brought up information about the Scarlet Skin Carvers being within the own ranks of our navy. I just ask you to consider those things as you hear the next testimony. And she's going to roll her persuasion check just to put that into everyone's mind. Yeah,
Come on, Mama. You have
she
this,
did real
Mama.
good.
With advantage because
I rolled it.
yes.
That did help. And she says, I would like to now take us all back to events years ago, where this all began, at least as far as it involved everyone in this room. And she says, I would like to call Sullivan Orncroft to the stand to tell his story and explain to us finally what happened on the day of that mutiny.
Okay.
And she steps up again, comforting hand on the shoulder to guide you up and over to the middle of the compass.
All right. Honored judges, let's start from the beginning. I joined the Navy to honor my father. And you all know that by now, I assume.
Yeah, some of them knew your father, so yeah, they're all just nodding along. There's some sad looks at the mention of his memory.
And he's wearing the platinum coin around his neck that was his father's, just on display. I met Dieter on the Orchid, and we grew quite close to each other. Inseparable. Our expedition had come under tough times, and tensions were getting quite high on board. Rations and gold were going missing, and we were attacked numerous times by the Scarlet Skin Carvers, as if they knew our route intimately. I was doing my nightly patrol of the ship, as was my duty, and I heard a handful of the crew speaking of mutiny, and that someone on board had given information of our route to the Scarlet Skin Carvers, and that a few of them took up positions on the ship, were plotting to kill the captain and take the ship as their own. I went to warn the captain of the planned mutiny, but I fear it was too late. The Skin Carvers weren't far behind, and I heard the sounds of my fellow crew, being slaughtered. And before I could compose myself, gather myself, figure out what to do, the door to the captain's quarters was kicked open, and there were 4 Skin Carvers. I fought as well as I could. I believe I killed one of them. And then I remember a searing pain between my lower ribs. And he's gonna reveal the wound on his stomach where he was stabbed. I fell to the ground, bleeding, and looking up, the individual who pulled the blade out of my belly was none other than who I thought was a friend, was Dieter. they began to bind Captain Vanessa in chains. Most of the crew took part. Those who refused were being skinned and thrown into the ocean. Dieter told me I should have joined him and suspended me over the side of the ship along with the captain. He told me my family's name was going to be dragged through the dirt. Everyone was going to think I orchestrated the mutiny, and there'd be no one left to defend me should this occur. I kicked Dieter, pushed out, and grabbed the captain as we both plunged into the brine, thinking I could save her in some capacity, but I failed. The last words Dieter said that I heard were, "Leave him, he won't make it to shore." I awoke on a beach with Captain Vanessa and held her in my arms as she passed away. She told me to right this wrong, and those were her last words. So here I am. And that's what happened.
As you get to that point, your mother will speak up and say, "The chains that the captain was wrapped in, was there anything attached to them?"
Just chains. Oh, yeah, right. And the anchor.
And she will, at that, gesture, and the attendant she sent off, the naval person she sent off, comes up the stairs like, and you can hear just the carrying Monty's anchor.
And to keep the promise I made to my captain, he's going to gesture it towards the anchor being dragged in.
Mm-hmm.
I fashioned the anchor and the chains that bound the captain into a weapon of sorts. That is the original anchor of the Orchid.
And yeah, your mom will gesture and say, "As many of you who are familiar with the Orchid can probably attest." And yeah, the person she gestures, the person brings it up and carries in front of them. All the captains take a minute and they like inspect it, and there is specific craftsmanship. They're not just like a plain anchor for the main ships of the Titan's Grave military. They do have like design and things etched into them, so it is recognizable. And like they all gradually nod along that evidence. And at that point, I will ask for Montblanc's persuasion check with advantage, because this is well, you're a charisma caster, so
yeah. But for some reason, I didn't give my charisma any goodness. 16.
Okay. All right. You can see as you are. You can see that as you were speaking, especially about the part of holding the captain in your arms as she died. A few of the captains at the table, the older ones, Captain Layla Foster of the Poppy. Let's see, Captain Cassius Lockburn of the Iris, Captain Sabrina Kilwell of the Rose, Captain Justice Undermore of the Tulip, and even Captain Phoenix Rainway himself. Yes. All of them, you can see it getting anywhere between misty-eyed to teary-eyed at the true description of hearing how their colleague, and for some of them former friend, truly died years ago. And your mom says, "Thank you very much for that. I understand that must have been painful to say. Or at least to revisit."
Just nods.
She guides you back to your seat, and you can see the captains just looking at the front. Actually, if No, I won't call for an insight check. I will tell you just generally, they are all, you can tell after all of those testimonies and all those good rolls, no one rolled under a 15. They are all very much on your side already. So then that's when Montblanc's mom says, before we continue this, I would like to just, in case you were wondering about the validity of my son's statement, I'd like to call a character witness. Lady Viktoria of the 5-star Chalice from Aor. And she just kind of gestures, and for this one, it's not like the calm hand on the shoulder or anything. She just kind of like stands aside and lets you go as if you know where you're going, but she also made sure to put you at a point where you've seen enough people go up there with her guidance that she doesn't need to guide you for you to know where you need to go.
Victoria, pardon me, Victoria, with the ease and the grace of someone who's done this a few times before, just kind of walks into that middle of the room, right on the compass, gives like a very elegant curtsy to the captains, and just kind of the energy of just commanding the attention of the room. And she will just take a moment and brush any wrinkles out of the dress, but also taking a moment to like think, okay, how do I not fuck this up? Like, it's going so well. Esteemed captains, I am Viktoria, Lady of the 5-star Chalice in Aor. I will be completely honest, I have not known Sullivan very long, and I've known him even shorter under that name. The name that I know him under is his chosen name of Montblanc. And I met Montblanc probably about, I'd say, a month or so ago. But in that time, we have gone through many, many experiences that one normal person would never go through in their lifetime. I originally met him while on a sort of diplomatic mission to Sveruk on order of my uncle, the lord of my house. And I was there to investigate why Aorian cargo trains were being attacked. And Monty, or Sullivan, had heard about that and was also there to investigate more of a, how do I say this? More of a monstrous threat to the Aorian cargo trains. My sister and I, who were on the diplomatic mission, thought it was merely bandits. However, Monty had gotten some intel that it was something more sinister. And when we met up at the train, he had brought in the lovely young Yulyanya with him, he had, from the stories I heard, saved her in a way, as she had recently lost her family and was quite alone. But then she found Monty, and he kind of took her under his wing, and gave her a shoulder to lean on in that difficult time. I will spare you the whole details of what happened with the train, but it turned out to not be merely bandits, and it turned out to be a member of Aor sacrificing random people that they were able to grit off of the ships, and just people that they thought no one would miss. And Monty played a very instrumental part in helping us end that threat. And over the time that I got to know him, as we continued on under a mission under the Queen of Sveruk, I trusted him enough to put my life in his hand. And as you can see, I am still here. So that trust was not misguided. I truly believe that Monty, or Sullivan, while he may be stubborn quite a lot, he does truly believe in doing what is right. And sometimes what is right is not what is easy. And that is what I implore you as the people passing judgment to do. It's to not make the easy choice, but to make the right choice, no matter how hard you might find it. As Monty, or Sullivan, he has aided my house multiple times, and I would consider him a great ally to my house, and by extension to Aor. And she will kind of leave it on that, with the unspokenness of kind of just saying, hey, you know, Titan's Grave would make a great crown, or make a great jewel in the crown of Aor, if you know what I mean. Like, just kind of unsaid threat. And then she will curtsy and go back.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check. Victoria is the only one that does not have advantage because Monty's mom intentionally stayed out of that one just to let her stand on her own.
Guys, how do I play D&D? What do I got?
Oh, I'm so nervous. I got my backup character good to go, so if things go bad, we're fine.
Do I have anything that could help me?
This party just needs an elderly wizard, and we're good.
Where are my
None of that.
spells?
None of that.
Where are my spells?
I think at this point, like, you're at the end of what you said. If you wanted a spell, you probably would have had to cast it at the beginning.
Yeah, well, I don't have anything that would help me. My spells are more designed for the battlefield, and I don't think...
I feel that.
Persuasion?
Yep.
Oh, fuck, that's... 14 plus 7.
Okay.
21.
So 21. All right. Continuing the trend of nothing under 15. Yeah, you can see that all of them just wonderful character witness. They were hanging on your every word there. Just a tale of heroism. You can see the court behind you, like the nobles behind you were hanging on your every word about that. And Monty's mom says, "Thank you very much."
My pleasure.
Now, I would like to then call into your attention evidence obtained by Sullivan. Now, we will. Sullivan is willing to put himself at the mercy of the court as to his obtaining of this evidence, and she kind of looks at you just like. She basically gives you a look just like, trust me.
Oh yeah, 100%.
She says, this evidence was obtained through illegal means, through a break-in. But the evidence that was found, however, is quite significant. You notice she doesn't say where the break-in was. And she says, we'll begin with, we have documents here, and she lays them out, puts them on the table. She's got like her like little binder thing, like leather binder. She's got all the information in. She pulls out, she takes the papers, and she sets them out. These documents show that the owner of the said documents was the one who sponsored Dieter von Stark in his original appointment on the Orchid, determining his placement there years ago, back when he was originally placed on board. We can also see here that there are letters involving ideas, trying to determine how to explain why to put certain naval outposts in some places and why to put them in other places. We also can see, lays out more information, receipts providing the funds for Dieter's parties and courtship recently, as well as funding exploration trips that Dieter takes to the mainland, along with a letter. She picks up and reads it. Stop hiring sacrifices with families, you numbskull. I don't care what their qualifications are, they just need to come and die. Just make sure no one will miss them so no one gets suspicious. She lays that down. And then she also says, in addition, there's quite a bit of funds that have been gained by the by this person from, well, shipments, business, trade. But in particular, you'll notice if you look at these ledgers closely, and like she's got them in like little things are like attached down, like arrow, like things pointing at the proper places. That the largest amounts of funds came from these expeditions where the ships were attacked by the Scarlet Skin Carvers and the cargo was lost. Well, Now that we would call that bad luck if it happened once, or perhaps good luck, since the person happened to have all of these insured with the shipping, with the captains and the shipping companies that were used. However, that would simply cover the cost, which would mean that this person would only break even. And yet, it seems through his ledgers here that he only seemed to make more and more money, which is strange if he was only being reimbursed for the goods that he had put on there. Well, I noticed that this person had purchased said goods, all of them, you'll notice, at a place called Kelreeve Trading Post. And I had never heard of Kelreeve Trading Post. Maybe some of you have. I was ignorant, so I decided to do a bit of searching. And I found the Kelreeve Trading Post is on the island of Belisadar. And Kelreeve Trading Post does not sell spices. It does not sell teas. It does not sell furs. It does not sell gems or goods of any kind, except for one type of goods. And she turns to face the audience at this point. She says, Kelreeve Trading Post is a quarry, and all it produces are rocks, which means that every one of those shipments labeled as valuable gems and spices and furs was nothing but crates filled with rocks. And why would someone spend money to ship rocks mislabeled unless they knew the ships were going to be attacked and they knew they would be reimbursed for the full value of the stated goods and not its true contents? And at that point, Lord Mumbleton stands up from the audience, flustered and spluttering, and says, "This is preposterous! How are you going to believe any of this?" And you notice everyone in the room turns and looks at him, and except Monty's mom has turned to look back at the captains at this point. She doesn't turn around, but you just see this little smile on her face, just this little look of, gotcha. Because she says, without turning around, just letting her voice echo around the room, "Lord Mumbleton, you seem very invested in this person, especially since I never said his name." And he just goes pale.
Harry lets out a very
Oh, he's so dumb.
So,
He's so dumb.
and then she wheels around, and you can see again. There was a brief moment when Tedros, you mentioned a couple days ago to her something like, "What happens if they come after you?" And she said, and you saw this little glint, this little predatory smile, like a predator about to stalk an antelope. You see that on her face again as she turns around, fingers tented, and locks eyes on Lord Mumbleton and begins just kind of slowly stalking in his direction and says, "I believe this completes the picture. We have a young, uneducated man, perhaps involved in certain things, perhaps just a skin carver himself, who was plucked out of obscurity by a noble, who was appointed onto a ship, given instructions, given orders, and wielded as a blunt instrument against Titan's Grave and her interests, and has been for years. And we have one person who is responsible for orchestrating this, for putting it all together, and for creating the problem that was Dietrich von Stark, for the one that was responsible for masterminding this whole situation. And given your admission, I believe I can safely say now who all of those letters are addressed to and from, which is you, Lord Mumbleton." And you can see he's just seething, as you could practically see the steam coming out of his ears as he stares at her. And all of the captains, everybody else, is just looking at him. And you can tell he may not have felt as cornered enough to stand up and like shout that. You may have had a better defense if it weren't for the litany of successes on persuasion checks. I will tell you the DC I set for was in fact 15 for all of those.
Cool.
So with 20 or higher counting as 2 successes, which Monty's mom and Viktoria both got above a 20. So between the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes. So y'all did great. And so he is caught, and he says, "Well, I would say, Lady Alusha Shore, that I would have to say this day is worth everything that has happened on it, if not for simply the chance to see you be wrong for once. And you can see her she's just like, really, dude. And he says, you were right about most everything, except for who was really in charge. But recent events have changed that. And he takes a half step back, and as he does, you see just a slight blue glow appear in the air in front of him as dozens upon dozens of crab legs appear in an oval shape, reaching through as if they were ripping their way through space in front of him. And from behind the portal as it opens, Lord Mumbleton says, if you would like to be returned to normal, kill them all. And as he says that, you just hear as something steps through the portal. That something is wearing the same outfit Dieter was wearing at the Davis party. However, his throat was ripped out. This thing is large-sized. One of his arms is dangling uselessly at his side, and bursting out of his shoulder is a massive chitinous crab claw. His whole body is bulging and like swollen at odd places, as if something is just puppeting him from the inside. And his neck, his upper torso has just been kind of stretched and distended, and his head is just kind of like lolling back, eyes milky white, as a pair of like antenna-like crab eyes juts out from the hole in his neck, and like the head of a crab is like trying to push its way out through his chest, as this horrifying monstrosity, basically wearing Dieter's corpse, stomps its way through the portal into the courtroom.
So I'm not guilty anymore? Is that the verdict?
Roll initiative is the verdict, everybody.
Oh, Jesus Christmas. Gentle Jesus in the
Not
freaking
great.
garden. I hate that.
Not great.
And I will tell you,
think you can get worse
Montblanc,
than me.
your if you want to use it, your flail is 20 feet away from you. Because it was entered into evidence.
I got an
So-
11.
Okay. Hold on a second, I'll call for everybody's in just a second.
Oh, okay. Everyone thinks he ran away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then
comes
how
back
here he's
looking
looking like
this.
like a monster. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He is also. Oh, I will also mention as he's stepping through that he is like just covered in a like crystalline layer of frost as he steps through from this just inky void behind him.
Good for him.
Okay. So, Victoria, what'd you get?
4.
Okay.
Oh,
Tedros.
You're on
Mm.
mute.
13.
Okay. Yule.
I suppose the fact that Yule didn't get to fight him the first time means she saw him step out and she's ready to go. I got an 18.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
And Montblanc.
I'm sitting down, distracted by how kick-ass my mom is. I got an 11.
Okay. And all right, audience in general. Actually, audience in general just goes on the 1, and then. Ooh, okay. All right. Let me just put these up real quick. Just put these all in order.
As the jack-o'-lantern is coming through. His little jack-o'-lantern.
That's so cute.
I have a finished one. Look at it.
All right.
I love
love
it.
it.
Little jack-o'-lantern.
That's adorable.
It's got a little spider-web in it, too.
It's amazing.
First up in initiative is Esmith, Monty's mom,
Oh, God.
who is going to
Okay,
use her turn
sister.
to get the fuck away from that thing.
Fantastic.
Get on the fan.
I fucking love that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
she just-
Relatable
She
content.
just hustles back to the other side of the room because she was in its path. it's trying to kill everybody. There's a lot of people. The nobles in general just started screaming. People are like knocked their chairs over. Like everyone's like, what the fuck? So she just uses her turn to get the fuck away from it and get to a safe distance. That will bring us to Yule.
All right. Yule is going to do a Radiant Sunblast.
Okay.
I'm assuming he's within 30 feet.
Yeah, the courtroom is big. It's not like that big, and he was like kind of in the middle of the audience.
Okay. That first one did absolutely nothing. I'm not even going to count up from a 3.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, nat 20 on the second.
Nice. So he just dodges under it, like he like dips under it, and Dieter's head like flops around on top of it as he just like ducks under it with supernatural speed, and then the second one just slams right in the middle of his chest.
Yeah, you'll basically, she sees him, is like, oh fuck no, lets one out, dodges, she misses, and she'll like spin around and throw the second one, hit him.
All right, roll that crit. See, I told you Dieter was dead, but like, you know.
Oh yeah, I figured something was up.
Yeah.
Why am I forgetting if I add anything to my damage?
It is add your dexterity modifier.
Dex.
And remember, a crit is either roll the die twice or roll the die and double it.
Oh, okay.
And you only ever add the modifier once.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a 4, so I add the 2. Oh, that's doubled to 8, and then
the dice get doubled, and then you add the 2. Yeah.
Dice. Okay, so 8 plus 2, not 10.
Okay, so just bolt of sunbeam just hits him right in the face. It just burns away some of the. You can see it like starts to scorch at Dieter's like clothes and chest, and as it does, you can see it begins to peel away like a layer of skin, and as it does, Montblanc, you can recognize the edge of the brand.
Told you, fuckers.
But it's under a layer of skin. Basically, he had a layer, like a separate layer of skin on top of it. But as that starts blasting away at this point, it starts to reveal it.
Okay, and then as an action, or as a bonus action, I'm going to shoot. Are we? Yes, we are 6th level. Okay, cool. I'm gonna channel Yule for the first time. Feels so much rage about this situation, and has, you know, she's in it. She's in the moment. She can face him, and she just lets loose and turns her key into a searing arc strike. So just a searing wave of energy at him. So I'm going to let's see. I will spend. Oh, shoot. Okay, should I do that? Okay, wait. I've never done this before. So we do that, and then I need to choose if I want to spend key points in order to make it Burning Hands.
Well, so it is. So you spend 2. It automatically costs 2. You can spend more to increase the level, basically.
Okay. Well, I'm confused.
Okay, so it costs.
So it says Searing Arc Strike.
Yeah.
It says at 6th level I can do this, but then I can also spend 2 key points to cast the Burning Hand spell as a bonus action.
No, that's what the Searing Arc Strike is.
That's the same thing.
Yes,
okay,
that's what
okay.
It is, yeah.
It's just phrased strangely. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so I automatically I spend the 2 key points.
Yes, but you can spend more.
But I can spend more.
To a max of 3. Max of 3.
Oh, okay, so max of 3. That's right. So you can spend 1 more if you want, so you can upcast it and do more damage. Or you can cast it 2.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I understand now.
Yeah.
I'm figuring it out. So I'll just spend the 2. She's just a natural doing this thing.
Okay, so he needs to make a dexterity saving throw against Burning Hands. Do you know what your saving throw DC is?
And anyone in that 15-foot cone.
True. I'm assuming that if Yule's trying not to hit the audience,
attack save Dex 13.
Okay, he's large, so I'm assuming Yule is aiming up with it, basically,
to
just catch his face. Yeah, not to so that she can angle it so that she goes over the heads of everybody else in the audience.
So essentially, she will have like thrown off that one, and when it hits him, and she sees like things just start to come off of him, she just feels this immediate rage and just throws her hands in front of her, and energy just comes out.
All right, so he'll roll the dex save. You said it was DC 13.
Yeah.
He got a 5, so full damage.
Yes.
So I imagine it, because it doesn't just like fire, because I imagine it kind of looks like golden sparks just in a cone, just pluming out of your hands, just burning into him.
Yeah. So her typical spell color is blue, but when she loses control of her emotions, it can be tinged with either gold or black, and this one is gold.
Okay. This is still the sun too. Okay, so how much? How much damage? 3d6. So
3d6 of damage.
Mm-hmm.
So I rolled that.
Yep.
Okay, let me. Wait, I'm gonna use my dice on D&D.
Okay.
Okay.
And
I
then
rolled
Tedros
3.
is up next.
All right, I get 13.
13 damage. Okay. All right. You just like
You'll then
flailing
come to
around
play.
with the one crab claw, trying to like stumble around. You can see that the ice that was covering his body has nearly entirely melted away at this point. There's just a very thin layer left.
Yeah, get fucked, Armor of Agathis.
Yep. Bringing us to actually at the end of your turn.
Oh, legendary actions.
Oh yeah.
Our first legendary creature, I think.
Yep. Yeah. At the end of your turn, he is going to raise a so he has the one normal hand still, which moves awkwardly as though it's being puppeted. Like it's like shoulder joint, elbow joint, wrist joint. Like it all moves like separately, like one joint at a time. And it points in your direction, and he fires off a single Eldritch Blast at you.
At me?
Yep.
Okay.
So there's a 19 to hit.
Oh, that hits.
All right. So just reaches up, and then just this pale green, or pale for him it's like pale blue bolt of energy shoots out and it slams into you for 11 points of force damage.
Okay.
Can she deflect that missile?
No, because it's magic.
Oh.
You can't deflect magic. Yeah.
Yep. Unless you're an astral self monk, in which case you can reflect out some specific magic.
Okay.
But yeah.
Had to ask.
Oh yeah, I know.
Because that'd be cool.
Oh, it would. That's why I like playing an astral self monk, because you can like deflect a firebolt out of the air. Okay, that will bring us to Tedros then.
Tedros, this time, so he during the trial he did have his the medallion, his holy symbol out, and he grabs and sort of pulls some energy off of it and throws it up in the air, and then it kind of forms into little owls that briefly perch on people's shoulders, and I will use a second level slot to cast Bless.
Okay.
Because we will need it.
So who is all getting blessed?
That should be enough for everybody, I think.
Okay, so the whole party's getting blessed. All right.
Hashtag bless.
What does bless do again?
Add a d4 to all attack rolls and saving throws.
Yep.
Hashtag G bless.
All right. Anything for the bonus action or movement?
Whoop, wrong screen. There we go. Yes. He is going to back up a little bit, just because he unfortunately doesn't have his shield.
Oh no, Tedros.
But he will kind of reach over and try to knock over a table to give a little bit of cover.
Okay, so just knock the table over. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so Tedros has cover.
Oh no, the table's a mimic.
Okay, that'll bring us to Montblanc. You're up.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna get to my anchor.
Okay. You have to be 20 feet away from him to get to the anchor, basically.
Yeah, pick it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Look at him. Oh, come on.
I imagine that Montblanc equipping his anchor is really cool, because it's the chain is normally wrapped around his arm.
Yeah, you just
it's just you just flick it at your arm and it just wraps all the way around and you catch it.
Wait, like one of those slot bracelets?
Yeah.
Yes,
He
absolutely.
equips it like a slap bracelet.
Yeah, just-
And these spiked chains dig into his arm a little bit.
Insane.
And he's gonna look around and look at the captains, look at his mom, and say, apologies for what you're about to see. I am not a threat. I'm gonna look back at Dieter.
Mm-hmm.
Smile.
What was Dieter really?
What was Dieter?
Mm-hmm.
Look at him. Look at him.
Mm-hmm.
Smile, and just start like degloving all of my skin as I wolf out.
Yeah, just tears at himself.
Yeah, which means
goes full werewolf.
Everyone here, my mom included,
Oh yeah.
see this for the first time.
Yeah, there's a little ha. All
So
right.
that's my bonus action to do that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And action.
Yep.
I don't want to use any of my warlock spells because I know he was kind of resistant to that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna use my action to dash and
Okay,
get right
just
up
get
in
right
front
up
of him. Just
Okay. Oh yeah, the crowd is like working on dispersing. Okay, that will bring us to Dieter's turn. You can see, like, now you two are. He's actually taller than you in this instance because he's large.
yeah.
He's like, his body's been like stretched and distended
hell yeah.
from like whatever's inside this crustacean creature, just taking over and puppeting him.
Let's go.
And you can see, like, as you get closer, his eyes are like milky white. There's like a slight amount of movement in his face that, like, he's like the barest bit of alive. You get the sense from what
I'm picturing he's kind of like one of the people who it's revealed in the thing, kind of like their head like
Yep.
kind of like that. That's what I'm
Yep,
picturing.
yep. And it's like, basically, what you heard from Lord Mumbleton, as he said, basically, if you want to return to normal, kill them all, is that this is his punishment for losing, and if he can kill all of you, he can go back to being Dieter.
No, not gonna happen.
He is going to start off.
Well, we'll see.
What does he want to do? I think he is going to. Yeah, he gets this once. So let me just see. Let me just see what he wants to go with for that. Apologies. What's the saving throw? Okay. He gestures again, just like that weird, jerky, disjointed way of pointing at you. Points at you with the one still human hand, Montblanc, and I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, I have advantage though, right? Because
Do you?
hashtag bless, or it's D4.
You get a D4 added to it.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna roll the D4.
All right.
Plus wisdom. I'm proficient in wisdom saving throws.
That's good.
Warlock.
Mm-hmm.
17.
I won. You missed it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yep. As he points a hand at Montblanc, and Montblanc, you just feel yourself like kind of your form kind of shake and shudder, transforming for the second time. You just whoop, get turned into a crab, and just shrink down to the size of a crab on the ground as he casts polymorph on you.
Hey.
Oh no.
Oh wait, I was gonna say as a shape changer, I don't think that can happen, but I don't know if that's an actual thing that my subclass gets.
I don't know if they get that, but also if you do get it, you have to like use an action to transform out of it. So I know that if you do, you can polymorph a shape changer. It's just like the shape changers can then shape change right back out of it.
Well, I don't have that.
So
Okay. Here I am. I'm a crab.
Actually, that might be mentioned in the. Okay. All right. So yes, you're a crab. You have 1 hit point, but you are a crab, and he's going to then just like stomp over you, and just like make his way into the middle of the room.
Attack of opportunity.
Go ahead. Let me look up. Let me look up the
it.
stats of a
I
crab.
got it.
Oh, you got it. All right.
Because I hope he has armor Vagathis still up.
Oh, he
Good
does.
It's not gonna hit though. It's got a +0 to hit.
We'll see.
Natural
Roll
20. Natural 20.
Is
Are
it
you
actually?
serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
But there's no. It's just 1 damage. There's no dice to
You
roll.
do 1 damage. Okay, he had still 2 points of armor Vagathis left. So you reach up. So as he goes by, he starts going towards the captains, the people of your home, your friends, your mom. You just reach up with those little pincers and you just nip him right on the ankle. And as you do, the armor of Agathis goes off, and there's a burst of cold and shards of ice that shred into you, and you just grow back up into Montblanc.
So I take 1. So Monty takes 1 damage. Crab takes. Or actually, how many hit points does that crab have?
Crab has, I think, 1 hit point.
Yes, I would take.
No, you take.
Crab has 2.
Okay, so then Montblanc. Armor of Agathis is not based on the damage done.
Oh, right.
It is a set amount of damage.
Right.
So Montblanc takes 23 points of cold damage.
Okay.
As that just shreds into you, but it does transform you back, and you're able to turn back into yourself.
Hello again.
And you just. And but that is his turn. Bringing us
Hello
to
there.
Victoria.
Hi guys, it's me. I'm not wearing my armor.
Nope.
Mhm.
You're Tedros.
Remember how I was very interested in what you're all wearing to this trial?
Yeah.
Yep.
How many people are standing around me?
Is it just people in general, or people you consider to be allies, and what's the distance?
People within a 5-foot radius of me.
Right now that's probably 4 with Lady Stanway. But like if you take like a 10 step, if you take like a couple steps back and just like get to the audience, you could get it up to like 8.
I will do that. I will take the 10 steps back,
Okay.
get back into the audience,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of through the little dip in the back of her dress.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone is paying attention to her, which she's moving with the audience to kind of get away from this thing, so I don't know if they're paying attention to her. They would see Terrence start to move a little bit, and I am going to grab 1 temporary hit point for every person there.
Okay.
I'm going to assume nobody else has their weapons because it's a court affair.
The only person who might is Yule, because Yule's walking stick is her quarterstaff.
Always got it.
I got mine because it was evidence.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. All right, so that is bonus actions.
Do I get
I am a weapon.
do I get a hit point, or is it just the audience?
No, it's she gets one from the audience.
Okay,
I
cool.
am channeling the audience's
You're
vitality.
siphoning it out of the audience.
They don't lose it, but she does gain it for for having more people. Yeah.
Yes.
Gross.
And then, so taking this 10 step back, how far away would I be from this shambling mound?
You could probably be like another 10. It's like 10 feet back, and you could probably get like 10 feet to get up to him.
Okay. All right. So
He has now stepped up into the. By the way, he's now stepped up into the middle of the courtroom, like on the edge of that compass rose, like between the two, like actually a little bit in front of the 2 tables, like the prosecution and the defense. There was no one at the other table, by the way. It was just all of you because Dieter didn't show up until now.
I did.
Yeah. But so that means he is like more in the clear. He's not like surrounded by audience members anymore.
All right. Cool. So if anyone is paying attention to Victoria, they would see she's going to start like kind of just making like little like hand shapes, kind of similar to Scarlet Witch when she's like reading people's minds. And this kind of wispy light green hand just kind of bursts out from her own with like kind of a little bit of a scream, and it just drives itself right into the mind of Dieter. And I need an intelligence saving throw, please.
Ooh. All right. He's a -1 to those. It's an 11.
Okay, what the fuck is my spell save? Okay, that is.
I think 15? That makes it. Or I think
15
I think it fails. Yeah.
Okay, so now we get 6 psychic damage.
Okay, so that takes out the rest of the armor of Agathis, and then he starts taking actual damage.
And he now has to subtract a d4 from the next saving throw before my next turn.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
And with the rest of my movement, I will kind of step away from the audience and kind of position myself as like, hey, I did that to you. Pay attention to me now, bitch.
Okay. He will. Legendary action on his turn. He's going to turn and just human arm blast and Eldritch Blast at Victoria.
Hey, bring it.
27 to hit.
Oh god.
Oh my God.
That was broad.
So, question.
Yeah.
Without armor, it's 10 plus dexterity, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm at a 9.
So your AC's 9?
My AC is 9 currently.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Okay, what's
I still
the
remember those days. Okay.
He can't miss Victoria.
Great.
What's the point?
Let's roll that one.
Yes, true. That is a 8 points of force damage.
Okay, so that wipes out my 10 HP.
Yeah, so it's like actually. So what does it look like when so that's 100% block. What does it look like when Terrence's magic like 100% blocks an attack like that?
The faces of the people whose vitality she channeled, they flash in her mind. They don't flash outwardly, but it is kind of like a deep earthy kind of brown that kind of just whoosh, almost like a turtle shell.
Okay. Not diarrhea.
No, like
it's like like a brown spectral turtle shell appears in front of you and just like blocks it perfectly.
I do have a question.
Uh-huh.
Would I technically be considered as taking damage, or because that was completely blocked?
For what purpose?
For a spell purpose that is triggered by taking damage.
You did take damage because it was technically it was temporary HP, so you did lose a form of HP. Yes.
Okay.
But like since it was 100% temp HP, like
hell yeah, baby.
Oh, nice.
So where did the Eldritch Blast kind of hit?
I would assume it was kind of like coming like center of mass, basically. But then like when like the turtle shell blocked all of it, but like you still basically got like knocked back a little bit and felt it.
Okay, so as she kind of knocks back, as she comes forward from it, right where the point where the Eldritch Blast hit, those same light green of the hand, but it's fire, is just gonna burst out and hit Dieter.
Okay. Dexterity saving throw. Okay.
That he subtracts a d4 from?
Oh, he does. Yes, he does. Let me subtract that d4. Not that it matters. But
why does he?
Because of the
I just hit.
I
hit him with mind sliver, bitches.
So that means he rolled a 2 on that dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Now, I know we talked about this. Are these spells also at the same level as my current spell?
Yep, yeah, they are. You use the same spell slots.
Yeah, man, that's 3rd level.
Yeah.
Okay. We gotta do some math here. 2d10 on a...
Warlocks and almost warlocks.
Yep.
Yeah. So I do 40-10 fire damage to him.
Fuck, Dieter.
Okay.
Crab, Dieter.
10, 20, 27 plus 5 fire damage.
32 fire damage. All right. So yeah, he's like blast this Eldritch blast you like it is an afterthought, like going towards like the captain and Monty's mom, and then like it hits, it's almost like you catch it, and then you just like just kind of basically just like go like what at him as just this burst of green spectral fire shoots out and just slams into the side of his head, and like he stumbles a few steps as he's like parts of him are just like burned away, and like more and more of Dieter is burned away to reveal more of the crab monster.
Would I be correct in assuming that everyone is kind of paying attention to that?
Yeah.
So, for the purposes of the rest of the team, you would notice it's not the color of Viktoria's usual magic, and she did not use her cards to cast it.
You a warlock?
Yeah, just reached out and just pulled that magic out of thin air and just blasted him with it.
That is my turn. Thank you.
Okay. The audience's turn at the bottom of the initiative order. They have begun to just kind of scatter and move to the back of the room and just like spread out away from him a bit more. The captains knock over their table and like take cover behind it, shouting for guards to like get into the room. And basically it's just like kind of stressful. So the amount of naval like guards in the room just basically takes their turn to get their bearings and get weapons. So they are not participating this round, but they will be starting next round. Because, a giant crab man monster just showed up in the middle of the courtroom, and they're not used to this kind of thing like you all are.
I know there's a werewolf.
Yeah.
We're taking care of it. We're taking care of it.
It's fine.
Yeah, Montblanc's mom, just her turn, gets to the other side of the courtroom, just as far away from him as possible. Yule.
All right. Yule will shake off that Eldritch Blast she got and throw another Sunbolt.
Go ahead.
That did not actually land on one single number. Okay, that was a 1, so I get to re-roll it.
Nice.
Oh, wow, that's a 19. So that it adds, wait, shoot. I'm so sorry. Why am I blanking on adding to my sunbolt?
Should be the number that just the like.
Is it
the
the
number
5 in the hit DC?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't about to. Okay, 24.
Absolutely hits. Yes.
Nice. We will. Damage is a. Oh, I didn't add. I don't need to add to the.
Yeah, you hit already. You can.
I hit already. So okay. So
you can't hit more, unfortunately, unless you rolled in at 20.
Okay, so I got a 3, and then I add to that my 2, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So
okay.
5.
So 5.
Okay. All right. So blast another radiant sunbolt. You get a second one, I believe.
Get a second one. Oh, that did not get in the button. Okay, that one was an 18 plus the 5, so that was 23.
Mm-hmm.
And damage on it will be another 5.
Okay. So just blast. Bonus action. Anything with your bonus action?
Bonus action.
I believe you can fire off a third sunbolt as your bonus action.
Yeah, let's just do a third sunbolt. That sounds good. Okay, that one is a 19.
Total?
Yes.
That does hit. Okay.
And another 5 for damage.
All right. Just poof, poof, poof. Just blasting at him with sunbolts is easier. Just like reeling from getting hit with like that hellish rebuke, turns around, just boom, 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 right in the face.
It does cost. It does cost a key point though to do it as a bonus action.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just spend the.
Does
key
that give
point.
you? Wait, is that going to give you 2 attacks then if you do?
Yeah.
It
gives
you 2 more as a bonus action.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
2
so then
more.
you get one more.
Okay,
So you get
another.
Yeah, you
yeah.
get one more.
Yeah, you get another. Yeah.
Okay, that one might not hit. I got let's see.
Roll your d4 for blast.
Hashtag
Oh,
blast.
plus stat, blessed. Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Hashtag blessed.
Okay.
No.
16?
That will miss.
Okay.
I'll just ricochets off the crab shell.
All right. Miss on the last one. That's all right.
Yeah. All right, that'll bring us to Tedros. Monty on deck.
You know what doesn't miss? Tedros puts his hand on his holy symbol, and then just a row of 5 feathers.
Magic missile.
Yes, 5 feathers appears, and he flings them off as he casts magic missile.
All right.
And the damage will be 4 per missile, so a total of 20 damage.
Ooh, nice. So yeah, he's just like, boom, hellish rebuke, bam, 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 sunbolts, and then just a bunch of feathers, and just like stumbling around in the middle of the room, is getting hit from all angles. But he's still standing.
Yeah, and he will run by him, and like go to slide across the top of the table where he would have been sitting had he stood for his crimes, in an attempt to draw his attention.
When you say run by him, do you run within his reach or no? So
within his reach.
So in and out, or just step next to him?
In and out.
Okay, then attack of opportunity. Claw. That is a dirty 20 to hit.
That will hit.
All right, so that is going to be not great. 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And I need a strength saving throw.
Okay.
I swear to gentle Jesus, if you die.
I'm fine.
And a concentration check too, right? For bless.
Yep.
That is a 7. Oh, well, that's 17 on the die.
Okay.
Said strength?
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. 17.
Okay, you manage to. He grabs you with the crab claw and just like pinches you with it. You manage to slip free and not get grappled by it.
Cool.
So you manage to exit his reach.
Bless. I rolled a number that's not low, so I'm good.
Okay, yeah, it's DC 10 right now, so.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll bring
and
us
that's
to
his attack of opportunity.
Yep, and that'll bring us to Montblanc.
Cool. Run up, get behind.
Okay.
Bonus action. Let it rip with my chain to do my.
Right.
Crimson
Oh wait,
right.
sorry. I apologize. He's also going to fire off an Eldritch Blast at Monty at the end of Tedros' turn with a legendary action, his second legendary action.
All right.
So Montblanc, 28 to hit Montblanc.
Oh, yeah.
For 7 points of force damage.
Cool.
Now you may proceed.
Okay, run up behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Bonus action. Whip the chain on my arm, or rip it on my arm. And I take 1 damage.
Nice.
And now my flail is wreathed in lightning.
Okay.
And I'm going to bring it down on the back of his head.
All right.
For a natural 18 plus 8 for 26.
Yes, that'll hit.
All right, that's D8 plus damage.
8. Mm-hmm.
So 6 plus 8, 14 plus 3 lightning.
So 17 total?
17 total.
Woo! Monty, the damage dealer, has arrived.
And
okay.
Because I'm using my flail,
never mind. Okay. You want to stay where he is?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Is that your turn?
That's my turn. Action bonus action.
All right. He turns his full attention to you now. With just you got out of his polymorph. He is pissed and just and he's gonna try and bring the crab.
I'm gonna roar back at him as a wolf.
Yeah. Just these two monsters just yelling at each other in the middle of a courtroom. And he's just gonna just bellows out and just gonna swing down at the crab claw. First attack.
Go for it.
Ooh, 12.
Oh, misses.
Oh wait, sorry. That should be 2 higher. 14.
Misses.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab it.
Yeah, you just grab it, and then he just rears it back, and then he brings it in for another attack. That is a 25 to hit, though.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I got resistance, though.
Yep, so that is going to be rolling shit on damage. 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
So I take 5.
Yep. I need a strength saving throw.
Oh, I got advantage because I'm wolfed out.
Nice.
And I D4 for bless. 19.
You're fine. He tries to grab onto you, manages to slip out, and then his bonus action, he just the jerky hand gestures upward, and from behind you, a big long crab leg appears. A spectral crab leg appears out of nowhere. His claw of the deep, and it is going to make a melee attack against you.
Go for it.
For dirty 20 to hit.
Yep.
All right. This is coming at you, 9 points of cold damage.
Alrighty.
And that is his full turn.
Cool.
Bringing us to Viktoria.
I have to start making wisdom saves now.
Ooh.
Like, his attention is like 100% focused on Monty right now, right?
At the moment, yes, he is. Yeah, Monty came up and just smacked him on the back of the head with an anchor, and he turned around. He's just like, "All right, okay, now we're gonna kaiju fight."
Okay, I did ask you a question, which does kind of lend.
Let me check that.
Because depending on your answer, that does guide how I will go forward. I'm not actually trying to play D&D and like.
Oh yeah, there you go. I will double check to see what that number is though for you, if I can as well, because I think that might be still the same number.
It's the same name.
Yeah, it's the same thing, so that doesn't go up.
Cool. So cantrips.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I've been here this whole time, and I still have to ask a million questions.
You're good.
There's too many rules.
All right. Let me just look something up. While I look that up, how far away is he from me?
Like 10 feet still.
Oh, so I could get to him in a turn.
Oh, absolutely. You could just like step right up. He's like basically right in front of the table you were sitting at.
Okay. Awesome. And I'm guessing that the audience is GTFO'd.
They haven't left the room, but they've moved to like the edges of the room, basically. Like they've spread out, trying to like some of them have started moving down the stairs.
Okay. Is Dieter wearing armor made of metal at the current moment?
No, he is not.
Okay.
He is. He wasn't wearing armor when Monty fought him, and it looks like any armor class he has is a result of the chitinous crab shell that he has, not as a result of actual armor.
Okay. And he just had his turn, correct?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. I am going to step up to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give him a good old shocking grasp.
Ooh, nice. Okay, roll that attack.
Okay. All right. 7. That is a natural 20 plus 7 for a 27.
Okay, yeah, so Viktoria just like calmly steps up, just illuminates her hand with lightning, and just palm strikes him right in the chest and just tasers him. Roll that double damage. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is 1d8, so double damage on that.
Would you say this is the most confident Viktoria has ever looked while spellcasting?
Oh, absolutely.
I would just like to point out that it's 2d8 because we are above 5th level.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be 48 for this.
Oh, I am 5th level in that. Yep. Okay, all right.
No, it's
okay.
cantrip scale by your total level, not by your class level.
Oh, this is good information,
so if
everybody.
If like a 15th level fighter dips 1 level into wizard and gets cantrips, you cast those cantrips as if you're a 16th level wizard.
Oh.
Like why the ones you get like for racial stuff too, like if you get them like an elf cantrip or a feat or something like that, they stay.
So 8 plus 7
15
plus 6 plus 8
29 points of damage.
29
from a shocking grasp
of lightning damage, and he cannot take reactions till the start of his next turn.
It's reactions too. Yeah,
so he can still use legendary actions.
Yes,
but you can run away from him now.
Yep. How much damage was that again, actually? What was that?
29.
Okay, he is actually going to use he's going to burn both of his legendary actions to use his defensive shell legendary action. So as you do that, and he sees just the amount of lightning coming in, the carapace on him just actually grows to cover him more, and like you sear your way through it and do damage to him still. Some does get through, but he manages to resist the majority of it before all of that extra carapace and chitin just kind of sloughs off of him into just like molts off into goo and just melts away on the ground. But that does take up both of his legendary actions for the turn immediately.
And he did that at the end of Viktoria's turn?
Yep.
Yeah, so we still have everybody else before he gets those back.
Yes, you have now used up all of his legendary actions.
Nice.
And he can't take reactions, which means that his claw cannot reduce damage to him this turn.
Sick.
So, is that Viktoria's turn?
What do I have as bonus actions? That's a great question.
Oh, if you still have your turn, then the shell thing wouldn't work, because it's legendary actions happen at the end of a creature's turn.
This one happened. Oh wait, no, hold on. This actually says as a reaction. Never mind. No, he couldn't have been able to do that. You're totally right.
Yep.
This one does say as a reaction though, so but it would have been. But since he can't take reactions, it wouldn't. So never mind. He takes the full damage. Yeah.
Nice.
Too many rules.
All good. All good. Rules, man. So let's take the full damage on that, but that doesn't mean he still has his legendary actions.
Oh, that's wonderful. So I've used an action for my cantrips. I cannot cast anything else. Without him having his reaction, I would like to calmly and confidently walk this way, passing his peripheral so he can see that it was me. But I don't give him the time of day. It was just kind of like, oh well, and I walk away from him.
All right. Then in that case, at the end of your turn, since he didn't use his legendary actions, he will fire an Eldritch Blast after you for just
do it.
That's 27 to hit.
Would you know?
Just hits.
That does hit.
Yep.
Fairly.
Just hits that 9 AC.
All right. That is going to be a 12 force damage.
Oh, okay.
You like go calmly walk away and it just like hits you in the back of the head. Like
how's Viktoria doing?
Victoria's still looking hot, you know.
I'm doing.
No, I mean like health wise.
Oh, we're still like, we're still good. We're still
fine.
good.
We're all fine.
But do I? She will take that hit. Victoria will remember that.
Okay. That'll bring us to the audience. They're still running away and everything. The captains have got their bearings now, and they stand up, look at the guards, just fire! And then there's a volley of crossbow bolts fire into him from the surrounding guards. We're just gonna see how well that does. I'm just gonna roll some attacks.
All nat 20s.
Okay, out of all of them, one of them actually hits.
Oh.
So it's like 6 guards fire crossbow bolts at him. Just 5 of the 6 just clatter off of his shell. One of them manages to make it through and do 8 points of damage. So give that guy a raise, whoever fired that. Actually, no. You look over. You know who it is? You know who fired that crossbow?
Mom.
No, Bobby Reed.
Nice.
You see Bobby standing there. She's like shaking, holding a crossbow, and fired one, and it like went right between 2 plates, and he just like bellows out from that. Just like looks over and just look. If a crab could look betrayed.
Werewolf thumbs up.
All right, and then that'll bring us back at the top with Monty's mom, who is just going to take dodge action and take cover, and then Yule.
All right, I'm doing another sunbow. Oh, that first one is nothing. Okay. 21 to hit.
Absolutely does hit.
Then we will. Okay, that's a 5 damage.
All right.
Do another. Wait. No, I don't want to spend any more keys, so we're not going to do any more of that. But I will. Let's see. Okay. That's just the end of my turn.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. That'll bring us to Tedros.
Tedros is. How is he looking?
It's really hard to tell because he's like constant. Like at this point, he is now in like a constant state of like growing and molting off chunks of shell that just like fall onto the ground with like a wet slap before disintegrating away into mist. So he looks like he's falling apart, but you're not sure if that's like. You don't know if that's a bug or a feature, honestly, of this form. So.
All right.
It's difficult to tell, but it does look good.
Does it look hot? Like sexually active?
No, not at all.
I can't believe you.
You got
Tedros. Tedros is gonna grab. Actually, Tedros is going to, kind of give his hand one of these motions and then push it forward. And you'll see a double pair of talons hit as he casts.
Power word kill.
As he casts Chill Touch.
Okay.
Oh,
roll the attack.
Because if we're close, I want to make sure we stay close. 17 plus 6, so 23.
That does hit. You're all rolling real good this encounter.
Yeah, I'm very happy about that.
I got turned into a crab, and then I wasn't.
You did. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you immediately were like, nah.
On attack rolls though, like I think there's been like 2 misses total.
Yeah. 14 damage.
Necrotic. All right, and
no
he cannot
healing
heal.
Yeah.
He cannot heal. Yeah. All right. Anything with bonus action?
Not right now.
All right, that'll bring us to Montblanc's turn.
You know what to do.
What's that?
Flail.
All right, roll it.
You know, like the song "Sail," but it's flail.
Yeah.
Oh no, we jinxed it.
What'd you get?
That is gonna be 19 to hit.
Just hits.
Yeah, I rolled bless on that one. Got a 2 for my bless. Boom.
I'll tell you, his AC is 19,
Good.
which is high, but you've all been rolling great, so it doesn't matter.
13 bludgeoning.
All right.
And an additional 3 lightning, so 16 total.
Okay.
Bonus action. Oh, I'm gonna try this. It never works. It never works. But my wolf eyes are gonna slowly fill with blood.
Mm-hmm.
And
Does this take resources to do?
No, it's a bonus action.
Okay, but it doesn't. It's not a limited use thing.
Nope.
Okay, I'll go ahead. But you're 9 hit points past his health, so I was about to ask you how you want to finish him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So blood curse of blindings or blood curse of bindings. So I'm gonna. He needs to make a. He's dead, right? In the process of dying.
Yeah.
Does he need to make the strength save then?
No.
Okay,
Let's
so
just do it.
Speed was reduced to 0, so can't move, can't take reactions.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna swing with the flail, and the chain is gonna wrap around. I don't know. Fake head.
Eye stalks.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna lift him up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And then hoist it in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Just rip him open as good as I can, like you do, like a crab claw or crab.
Yeah.
Like.
Just pop open the crab shell. Yeah. Rip him in half.
Oh.
And just.
Sorry, that might not have happened. I need to make a wisdom save first.
Oh, that's right.
No, I'm good. DC's
Okay.
8 and I got a 16, so that happens.
Okay, we're good. You're good. Okay, so. All right.
Because I could have been. I could have started attacking. I could have started attacking people in the audience.
I know. That's why this was risky.
And then. Yeah, that's
Never.
my turn.
Okay, well that's your turn, and that's where combat ends. And
I'm gonna as soon as combat ends, I'm gonna immediately drop wolf form, just so I don't have to keep making wisdom saves.
All right. And and just like the room just kind of gets quiet as everyone just kind of breathes and looks at the ripped in half form of Dieter and just kind of takes in everything that happened. And then slowly everyone's attention turns to Lord Mumbleton, who has not moved from where he was standing.
What a dummy!
He could have run.
Oh my god.
He could have.
Man, he was banking on Dieter. He probably thought Dieter would
really
win.
was.
Wow.
Nah.
Yep.
Well, while that's happening, I'm just gonna slowly peel off chitin to reveal the brand.
Mm-hmm. They're like, we know, we get it, okay? Thank you. You don't have to rub it in.
Point at it.
But yeah, and as you all look at Lord Mumbleton, he's just kind of staring off into space, and kind of just like has a lot of room around him because like the audience like booked it for the sides of the room, and he just kind of just 1,000-yard stare, just kind of starts stumbling over towards the window. Not like he's gonna go through it, but just like kind of stumbles up to it. And then he just kind of head down looking out the window, the room quiet. You just start to hear.
Ray's just gonna like look over at Monty and just kind of make like a please can I?
Shakes his head.
Also,
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry, but you'll seeing him come toward that window. Telekinetic shove toward us.
Oh, just trying to like keep him away.
Keep him away from the window.
Okay. Is it a saving throw? So that works.
Yes, a strength saving throw.
Okay.
So DC 8.
Yeah, -1 to that, so 4. So he stumbles forward away from the window. Then he just keeps laughing. He stumbles to his hands and knees. Actually, he does like he's so out of it that just the shove basically knocks him prone. He's still just laughing on the ground. Oh, it all went so wrong. It all went so wrong. It all fell apart. Look at it. Look at it. He's just like looking at.
I'm gonna walk up to him. Lift him up in the air by his collar.
Yep.
And look to the judges if they're still here.
Oh, they are. They're all like behind the table they were taking cover behind.
And what do we usually do in Titan's Grave to people who work with pirates or who are pirates?
And they nod, but he looks down at you still laughing and says, "Oh, I was your last hope. I was the last hope you all had, and now it's over. Do what you will to me. But welcome to Mumbleton's Feast of the Sea." And as he says that, you just hear a rumble from outside. And you see just a point in the bay out behind him from the window. There's just like a concentric, there's like the water bursts upward and then waves extend out from that point. as like them, and then following that, the water in the middle of the bay just begins to froth and bubble in a bigger and bigger churning mass of water behind him, and he just begins cackling.
Snap the neck.
You can just kill him. And as you all look out from the water, you just see this mass moving not towards you, but away from you, towards Titan's Grave proper, before a huge gout of water, just the size of like several ships, bursts upward, and a wave starts rocketing.
How does my tattoo feel?
It is. You look down at it, and it is just freaking the fuck out.
Squirming.
Yes. And there's just and you can see a wave burst up and start making its way towards the island you're all on.
Where's Galena when we need her?
And it slams into the docks, and you hear the whole fort shakes from the force of this wave hitting it, and you can see the water rushes up past the windows. The windows actually crack from the wave hitting and actually splashing all the way up the side of the fort, and they crack and shatter in place. Not all the way through, but just enough like spiderweb of cracks runs through it. And as it starts falling back down, you can see just timbers and sails and ropes fluttering down as the collected ships that were all docked there on the outside just got slammed into the rocks, and some of them just completely dashed into the air as a gargantuan, enormous crab crests out of the bay and just starts to crawl its way into Titan's Grave Marketplace, just starting to level buildings with its claws. But you look down, and your boat was parked in a sheltered cove away from everybody else's, where the wave was unable to hit. Your boat is still safe. And next week, we will see what you do about the crab kaiju attacking Titan's Grave City.
Would you look at the time? It is time for Viktoria to leave.
I'm not leaving Titan's Grave until that crab's dealt with.
So. Oh, I assume.
I don't think
but
any of us
you need your boat
are.
to get to the crab, is what I was saying.
God,
the Navy is currently trapped on this island with all of you.
I'm not looking good for hit points either, so that's going to be interesting.
Well, you got a cleric. So, welcome everybody.
And Yulyanya can heal now, I think, too.
Yes, I can heal you. Yes.
So welcome everybody. We'll figure out what to do with that next week. Okay. Thank you for joining us.
I killed people.
Thank you for joining us for the trial of Sullivan Orncroft versus Dieter von Stark. Wow. Sullivan did win. The judges will. You can tell. Like, you all did well enough in the trial part of it to force Lord Mumbleton. If you had done poorly, he wouldn't have felt the need to bring Dieter back and would have just let you lose. But basically, he was like, screw it, I've already lost. So he just decided to try and kill everybody. So yeah. We will continue next week as a giant crab kaiju starts attacking Titan's Grave City.
Yay.
See you next week.